Okay, so that's basically the principle behind the law of or the elasticity of demand, but applying a regression model to it. Of course, there are other potential regression models that we could use, but when we talk about elasticity of demand, we know that there are going to be a variety of different influences to it. I mean, for example, the key ones are deemed to be alternatives. Obviously, the more alternatives there are, the more likely it is that people will find an alternative if you increase the price. Income, well, naturally, there's going to be certain aspects that are going to be income inelastic and others that are going to be elastic. Tastes, which obviously change. The buyer's expectations, is in the quality compared to the expectation that the guest had, or to the reality of the fulfilling the expectation. And of course, the number of buyers. I mean, if there's a variety of buyers, then there's going to be a variety of preferences, or if there are very, very few, then it makes it a little more competitive. Which of course brings us to the law of diminishing marginal returns, which also implies that the more you have of something, then maybe the less you actually appreciate what it's for. So if you have a bar of chocolate, if you like chocolate, you enjoy the first one, but maybe the second one immediately afterwards is enjoyed significantly less than the third one thereafter. It's a very, very simple idea, but it just means that the more you have of something, perhaps the less significant the appreciation actually is. Now, the other side to this, all of this is in the text here, is just to try and show you the 5 income demand curves. Now, this is assumed, so when we factor in the elasticity of demand, there's also, there in fact more than just price. Of course, it can be, say, as we said, income. So what we're talking about here is income elasticity. So for example, luxury goods, and then inferior goods. So therefore the elasticity, automobiles would be quite elastic, as in they would, they would be sacrificed in the event of people not having the income. Books, less so. Restaurant meals, surprisingly less so, but it is the way it is. Tobacco, people, is fundamentally inelastic to all intents and purposes. Water, more so. Margarines, very surprisingly, but it's still elastic, even though it is inverse. And public transport, again, it's just, so these are seen as, say, inferior products, but nonetheless, they are just seen as the products that would be less impacted. And of course, if the demand curves, from everything from high to 0 to negative, it's just based on the importance of the products to the market. So this is what elasticity of demand is truly about.